In this video, we will get to know about the genes that are linked to thoughts of suicide. So, let's get started it. Suicide is a serious public health problem that affects people of all ages, races, and socio-economic statuses. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, accounting for nearly 45,000 deaths each year. Suicide is avoidable and it's critical to recognize the warning signs and seek help if you or someone you care about is having suicidal thoughts. A large-scale study involving military personnel led by researchers at Duke University and Durham VA had identified 4 genes associated with an increased risk of suicidal thoughts and behaviors. Although more research is needed to determine whether these genetic markers can lead to targeted treatment, the study's findings provide a better understanding of how inherited risk factors contribute to the development of suicidal thoughts and behavior. Researchers stated that while these genes do not predispose anyone to problem, it is important to understand that there may be increased risk, especially when combined with life events. Nathan Kimbrell, PhD, Associate Professor in the Department of Psychiatry and Behavior Sciences at Duke, and colleagues including co-lead author Alison Ashley Koch, Professor in the Department of Medicine at Duke, used data from 633,778 US military veterans to conduct a large, diverse genome-wide analysis. Participants had 71.4% European ancestry, 19.1% African ancestry, 8.1% Hispanic ancestry, and 1.3% Asian ancestry. The majority of study participants were men, with only 9% female. The researchers discovered numerous genes in participants with documented cases of suicidal thoughts or actions, regardless of their ancestry. Using a genome-wide analysis of blood samples, the strongest links were found in 4 genes that have previously been linked to psychiatric conditions. First, ESR1, an estrogen receptor, has previously been identified as a genetic driver gene of PTSD and depression, both of which are risk factors for suicidal behavior in veterans. Estrogen is also suspected of being a factor in sex differences in depression rates, and loss of ESR1 has been linked to changes in brain tissue in men. Suicide attempts, schizophrenia, mood disorders, ADHD, risky behaviors, and alcohol use disorder have all been linked to DRD2, a dopamine receptor. DCC, expressed in brain tissue throughout the lifespan, has been linked to various psychiatric conditions and is found in the brain of people who commit suicide. TRAF3 has been linked to antisocial behavior, substance abuse, and ADHD. TRF3 and several other inflammatory genes are modulated by lithium, a gold standard treatment for bipolar disorder that has been shown to reduce suicide risk. Aside from those genes, the researchers discovered 9 more ancestry-specific risk genes. According to the researchers, while genes only account for a small portion of the risk in comparison to other factors, we need to better understand the biological pathways that underpin a person's risk of suicide behavior. Suicide kills over 7 lakh people each year and is the 4th leading cause of death among people aged 15 to 29. The more we learn, the better we will be able to prevent these tragic deaths. So, what can we conclude from this? The strongest link of suicidal thoughts were found in 4 genes that have previously been linked to psychiatric condition. ESR1, an estrogen receptor, has previously been identified as a genetic driver gene of PTSD and depression, both of which are risk factor for suicidal behavior in veterans. DRD2, a dopamine receptor, DCC, has been linked to various psychiatric conditions. TRF3 and several other inflammatory genes are modulated by lithium, a gold standard treatment for bipolar disorder that has been shown to reduce suicide risk. There is need for more study. The more we learn, the better we will be able to prevent these tragic deaths. But this is a conclusion given by the researchers. From my experience, I want to add that people should maintain a good bond with their families and keep this always in mind that we should not expect anything from anyone, because these expectations, when not fulfilled, break down many people's heart and make them depressed. So, expect less and live your best. Questions. What is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States? How many deaths are accounted for each year due to suicide? Where was the study on 4 genes associated with the suicidal thoughts conducted? What was identified as a genetic driver gene of PTSD and depression? What has been linked to antisocial behavior, substance abuse, and ADHD? I will wait for your answers in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my efforts. Good luck and stay safe.